Hello, my loves, we're live. Welcome to the Sacred Raven Soulwork Sanctuary. My name is Jamie Jacobson. I'm your transformation coach, your soulwork intuitive, emotional intelligence specialist, lifestyle and life purpose business strategist for creatives, for indiepreneurs, for you aspiring NUB spiritual based entrepreneurs. I wanted to get into day 13, this topic today, which is adversity and loss, how to cope, and the fact that the old life that you knew is gone. And many people are mourning that. This is the Clarity Through Quarantine series in association with the Lightworkers Challenge over at the Spiritpreneurs Warrior Sisters Business School. In my ongoing Journey with Jamie series. Okay, so things have changed so much is different in such a short time, in one fell swoop. How are you coping? Or are you? You know, I've lived a life of adversity. My whole life. And there was never, because there was always so much drama, there was so much going on in the family all the time, emotionally, you know, and I'm a very laid back kind of person. I don't often have outbursts. I've always known how to find my balance and do things that kept me there. I get lost in my artwork. You know, as a child, I would paint, draw, sketch, I would read, I would write stories. Sometimes I wrote some pretty crazy ones for my friends, you know. They got addicted to it. I remember in the 8th grade, they all wanted me to write these luscious little stories about their favorite new kid on the block. Life was very difficult growing up. I always had to start over. My mother dragged us around a lot. We didn't know, you know, she had suffered mania from bipolar, you know. She was a very, very intelligent woman and ahead of her time. Ahead of her time. A lot of the stuff that we know to be true now about our health, she was on it then. Have her vitamins every morning. Never went to school without them. A little something on our stomachs. She'd force it at you. Even our friends, she'd hold her hand out with vitamins. Yeah, I'm going off topic. But there was a lot of ups and downs. A lot of tragedy. And as I grew up and got my own family, I suffered heartbreak really early. And that was very difficult. And I pushed past it because there was no time. Just like there wasn't time to cope and go over emotions when we were younger either. You just had to keep pushing past because of the mundane, everyday, practical living things took over. And then later on, of course, when I had my own family and you know, had this relationship for 25 years, and he had a big family too. We both came from rather sheltered families and met in a very unsheltered kind of place. You know, the tragedies and the heartbreaks and the losses that came along with much of that still had to be put on the back burner. And that stuffing away of pains and emotions didn't serve at all. And when you go years that way, a breaking point does come. I've always been one who was a seeker. I love truth. I have a curious mind. I need to learn. I must learn to thrive, to live. I'm always reading something or researching something, looking something up, listening to a podcast, watching a documentary, watching a video, something, digging. Especially when it comes to our world, what runs it, what rules it, what are the spiritual laws, what do the ancients believe versus what we believe, the sciences, mixing the occult with the sciences we have today, anthropophagy. We're in a time which I don't want to get, it's very hard because there are many things I want to talk about. I want to keep it, I don't want to go too heavy. There is a place where I'm trying to place that kind of material that digs further into our greater philosophical, metaphysical outlook. But here at the Soulwork Sanctuary, here with Sacred Raven, we're dealing with our personal soul work and our personal life and emotions, and dealing with them and how to get through. We're dealing with a time that you cannot just shove away, hide away, pretend is not happening. Our old life is gone, and we have to now realize it. We also have to realize that it's very, very important that you stay clear, that you question everything. And there's one thing the spiritual community understands, is the idea of manifestation. Among other principles that align with the ideas of imagination, magic, right? And that's looking at it from this pure perspective. But there are those who serve a darker purpose and operate from a darker realm, who happen to be in places and have and carry statuses that lend a lot of power and control, that want to dominate. Now, one of the biggest themes we have been working with these days, these past years, in fact, have been independence and sovereignty. even in my own personal life. It was a theme that came to me after having, like I said, I had powerful, spiritually psychic dreams. And it led me down this rabbit hole as I was digging in myself, digging in material, digging in all kinds of education, listening to all kinds of personalities. You know, I'm one of those who will read and watch everything so that I can have a larger picture, a larger look of the puzzle, and put it together. Because a lot of times there's this greater pattern that people aren't seeing. I'm a dot connector. I can see the patterns in things that don't look like they really connect at all. I began to see that what was happening in my personal life was happening on a grander worldwide scale. The theme of emotional crisis, spiritual crisis, and codependency, and independence and sovereignty were major themes with truth and trust. So my life was turned upside down in areas where I thought I didn't have to look, right? I felt too comfortable in for far too long. I placed too much trust in an area of my life and with certain people in my life. And I chose to see things too simplistically in those areas. While I was digging deep and I had the world down, I didn't see clearly what was happening in my own personal life. A lot was hidden and not revealed. Some good, some not so good. I dealt with those adversities and those extreme losses by digging more, by getting more curious, by going inside myself, by drawing a relationship with the Creator even more, asking deeper questions, trying to look at things in a way that I never did before. It's so important to do that. When you don't, you find yourself in great troubles. I was so stressed out and I was pushing myself so hard. I wanted to make it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to break free. I wanted to crack the code. I wanted to be successful. I was running myself into the ground. I wasn't coping well. I was pushing away pain that I was feeling about certain truths in my life. And I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I wasn't allowing myself to feel the pain. I didn't want to. I would get upset with myself. I wanted to keep pushing. I was searching for that breakthrough moment, that moment of clarity. I wanted that success in my life. I no longer wanted to be at the mercy of another person or another situation which was going to hold me captive to my life. I wanted my own business. I wanted my own business that not only gave me that freedom so I could go anywhere and do anything, but I wanted it to have deep meaning. I wanted it to represent me. I wanted to show who I was and take that back, because for too long, very dark people, narcissistic people, gossipy people had the narrative. And I didn't defend myself against it because I wasn't going to defend myself against lies. I despise liars. That's the one thing I hate the most. It's untruth. Because seeking the truth, searching the truth, and sharing the truth is my life. It's the only thing that heals. It's the only thing that brings solace, even if it's a hard truth. And right now, the truth is, the adversity and the losses we're going through is forcing us to accept things, some good, some bad, accept things about ourselves, to see things the way they are, to become resourceful, to become a greater version of yourself. To see things as they are and not hide from it. Not push it away and say, oh no, it's negative, it's negative. No, it's not. It's the truth. We can't hide. We can't put our head in the sand. We can't fake it. The only way is to integrate it. We have to integrate our light and our dark. We have to integrate our shadows and accept and surrender. That's how you cope. You can't run. The longer you run, the more confused you get, the more pain it becomes, the more in denial you are about who you are authentically, about how you should live, about what the truth is. By the way, how seriously do you dig to find truth about the world, about the people who are in positions that have a lot of say about our direction? Considering history with what we can find that is to be true and that wasn't messed with. We have history writers, you know. If you remember Egypt, what wasn't written on that historic wall wasn't considered history. And the pharaoh and the leaders had a lot to say in who would live on forever in history and what wouldn't. Even if it was the truth, or even if they did stand for it. If it didn't align with what the system wanted, with what the power structure wanted, it wasn't going to go up. I spoke about the Alexandrian Library the other day, and I had always thought to myself, you know, those that burnt it down in Rome, burned it. Do you really think that all those books, all that information on our prehistory, do you really think all that is gone, or do you think they kept it? A lot like in Desert Storm, when they went into the museums and the libraries and were taking ancient Sumerian texts and sculptures, other relics. Why? You know, Hitler was doing the same thing. They were trying to reach some sort of truth. They want to twist it in their version, in their image. It's up to us to know the truth about ourselves as individuals, to know our power, to know our independence and our sovereignty. Why is independence and sovereignty important? Especially in adversity and with loss. Why? Because you can rely on yourself. You are resourceful. You are built to be resourceful. have your intuition, you have your critical thinking skills, you have your creative problem solving skills, you have a lifetime of lessons, all at your disposal. At any time, we can ask the Spirit to please help us. We can tap into the Holy Spirit and ask, help us. Help us find the answers. Help me find the way. Help me find the words. Help me find the road. Help me connect with the right people. What do I do now? But it comes with trust and faith and hope and truth. So we have to be honest with ourselves about the life we're in right now, how we're going to live it. Some of us may never go back to our traditional way of life, the work. I thank God that I listened to myself and began this road of developing what I see as my purpose in life, which is to help teach others, to awaken others, to help them through their emotional crisis, their pains, through spiritual awakening, the dark night of the soul. To show them the matrix. Because there is a system that is built, and it's built by covet means. And darker forces. It relies on low frequencies and fear. It wants you dependent upon it. It wants to rob you of your independence, your sovereignty, and your freedom. It lies to you. It lets you believe that it's here to help you, to save you. I think Ronald Reagan once said, for instance, the scariest words you'll ever hear is, "Hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you." We will never go back to our regular lives. When they say this is the new normal, this is the new normal. And you have to understand the value of your sovereignty, your independence in relationships, so that you're not caught up in this codependency. As a citizen in this world. You can't let yourself dissolve into the system. Use your mind. Use the heart God gave you. Use the temple. Clear it out. Detoxify if you can. I know many of you are going through so much pain right now because of instability, not knowing how you're going to pay for your rent or keep your home or pay your bills or feed your children. I'm in a very unstable situation myself, but I had to make that choice because it would have been not very good for me where I was, and I needed to move away from a situation I felt was codependent and toxic. And I think my significant other realized that and is trying to work on it himself and work on the same issues. Because there's this greater lesson in this. It's showing up in our personal lives, and it's showing up for us as citizens of this world. as you cope through this, I want you to go in yourself. I want you to spend time with yourself. Spend time with the universe. Spend time with God. You're going to get to know yourself. You're going to get to build yourself. You will find answers. You will find truths. Things will be illuminated to you. Get curious. Start asking questions that you were scared to ask. Start looking in places you were afraid to look, even if it seems dark. Here's the thing, and you don't have to go down dark rabbit holes forever. I know I did that, and it did put me in a depressed place, but what I had to do was balance it out with the light and know the power that I carry within is one of great spiritual power. It's the consciousness of all this universe that runs it all, and its fuel and its essence is love. In that, I learned how to love myself. Loving myself required me to stand on my own 2 feet, to build something of my own, to love the woman I see staring back at me. And I'm a wellspring of creative ideas. I'm a wellspring of solutions and inspirations to apply to my life. I will always be taken care of. Spirit will take good care of you every day. If it takes care of the insects, if it takes care of the very birds, the sparrows, animals in the sea, it will take care of you. It's so important that you use this time before life picks up again. Whenever it does, even amongst all this chaos, you can find the calm in the storm. But you have to draw close to God. You have to draw your power from that. Your hope. Your faith. Your mental strength. Adversity builds character. Do not let it sway you. Do not get caught up and lost in it. Do not fear what's going to happen. Stand up. Be strong for your family. Be strong for yourself. Be strong for your community. Be a leader. Be a mindful and peaceful leader. Be inspiring. Inspire yourself. This will keep you balanced and keep your mind intact so you don't feel like you're going to lose it or lose your mental health. There's a situation happening in our world which is very heavy, very dark, and they don't like those who know their power. These are people who are psychopaths, narcissists, with every means at their disposal, with the kind of power that they have, the connections that they've got, and the money that they've got to make their insane delusions a reality. But we can too. And we're coming and drawing from another spirit, from another source, from another sense of power that is one that's the essence, the very core of it is love. That is how you need to cope, by drawing from the spirit of this universe, by drawing from the Holy Spirit, from drawing from the spirit of love, the spirit of truth, and worshiping in spirit and truth. Putting some of that, just a taste of it even, in your life. Do not lose your individuality. Do not lose your sovereignty. Do not lose who you are to this system. The system wants to change you and suck you up in it. eat you up alive. We're organic beings. We're meant to live with the cycles of time, with the cycles of nature, organically, not against it. We're meant to be eating from the produce and the fruit that the earth gives out by our own handiwork. Not these things which are dead and geoengineered. You were born with powerful gifts. It's written in the story of your DNA. It's time for you to live your purpose. It's time for you to step up and learn how to do that. Start digging into your life. Start questioning the reality that you see out there, because they want to see brother and sister against one another, mother and father, husband, wife. All against one another. And you know, scripture talks about this. Are we going to let that happen? Or are we going to use this time of adversity to get to know ourselves greater, to build our relationship with Creator, to know the power we have inside of ourselves, to share it, to spread it? I'm getting goosebumps. I feel the Spirit. It's here. Understand that nothing is as it seems. You have to do some digging, and it's your responsibility to do it. Nobody's going to give you the truth or the answers on a silver platter. We can only guide you and point you in the direction. But the power is inside of you. It's in you. So it's for you to stand up and lead. It's for you to ask the right questions. Question everything. Question it all. Do not get secondhand information. Get it firsthand. Cross-reference. Get things from the horse's mouth. Do not believe people just because they say they are a guru or an authority figure of any kind. I like to follow the money, personally. It's easy to follow the footsteps when you look at that. It's time for a revolutionary change, even in the way you make your money and take care of your family. You can use and utilize who you are. Decide who you are at your essence, what you want to do with your life, ultimately, and go in that direction. And you can do it at home, you can do it on the road, you can do it digitally. You can be creative with it. There's so many platforms, so many avenues, so many ways, and you're so unique. In order to cope with all this adversity, with all this loss, the greatest way to do that, the greatest way to do that is by understanding who you are at your core and what you stand for. Start with you first. It's by understanding what your place is and why. What is your why? Why have you been living the life you have up until now? Is there something else that your heart has been calling you out to do? You know, that heart has an intelligence equal to that of the brain. So does the gut, by the way, which is very connected. When you listen to that call in the heart, that's the quiet, still voice of the Holy Spirit, of the pure Spirit, of the universal consciousness, pulling you to greater heights, begging you to listen and open your ears, begging you to follow your heart and your intuition. Please, do not be afraid. There isn't anything to fear. The more you know, the more empowered you are, because you know what you're dealing with. But if you're ignorant of what's actually happening, you cannot come at the problem or attack the problem in the right way. You cannot strategize in the right way. But you first have to know who you are. Start being gentle with yourself. Inspire yourself. Love yourself. Love others in the same way. That builds a foundation. It builds a foundation to work with. So you can elevate from there. So you can come at your life from a place of clear thinking, clear seeing. Do some deep listening and some deep learning about yourself and the world around you. That's how you need to cope with all of this that's going on, or else it's going to be nothing but confusion. The confusion is going to cause frustration and then anger, and then back to grief again, depression, helplessness, codependence, neediness. But if you come at it and attack this from a place of strength, mental toughness, and with heart, relying on the universal spirit power, relying on your greatest self, the one that you were meant to be, the one that is the will of God for you to be. And you cannot go wrong. You will not go wrong. That I promise you. Your life will open up in so many ways. You'll find a lot of healing. You'll heal things in yourself that you didn't know needed it. That I promise you. It'll be very cathartic for you to purge all the old shit. Get rid of it. Start realizing that this is a new life now. So you have to come at it from its terms. But come at it knowing the full scope of things, of what you're dealing with. Dealing with the light and the dark, integrating the two. It's not all fluffy clouds, although there is that. But you have to come at darkness and fight it with light. Not from a place of denial, I'd like you to share with me. Tell me, how are you coping right now with the way things are? What are you doing every day to allow yourself to cope? How do you feel about the future? Are you uncertain? Do you feel scared? Do you think you know what's really going on? Or are you afraid of it? If the truth were given to you about what was happening, how do you think you would honor it? How do you think you could deal with it? Do you have the mental toughness and the mental strength? Are you somebody who sits back and passively accepts what is told to you? Or do you look for truth yourself? Do you take that opportunity as an individual, an independent person, a sovereign person? Because this is what's being taken from us, and it can be taken from you. We don't want to be at the mercy of somebody else or something else, or at the mercy of a structure, any power structure. The power comes from inside of us. We lead. We call the shots. It's time to find like-minded people. Get together. Because I really feel that a lot of minds that are easily manipulated are going to play into ideas and manipulations, emotional manipulations. And it's usually the foolish and the uneducated that are the worst to deal with. These are the people to fear the most. They're in denial. They're not emotionally mature. They're not mentally strong. They're weak. Throughout time, we've always seen the truth tellers, the truth seekers, the strong, always attacked, always hated. Those who go after their dreams, those who build things, those who follow the voice of God and do it, people despise. It is for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. The trumpet sounds are being called. This is judgment. And it is time for a balance. It's time to make a decision. And it's time to integrate. Seek the truth because it will set you free. It will set you free. You will find your strength, your sovereignty, your independence. And independence from work situations too. You call the shots. You can create your own abundance. You don't need to be a slave and trade your precious life, your hours for dollars. You can create your own, and you can do it as you like, the way Spirit is moving you to do. So do it that way. Do not let others steal it from you. Keep your individuality. Keep your mind about you. Do not fall trap to what the majority do. The majority are always wrong. Remember what I said about Egypt. That same idea has come down through history. Look what's happened to people like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Jesus, or Yeshua. When you do what's right, when you do what's from the heart, it's never easy. But the breakthroughs, the networks, the friendships, the abundance that has grown from it is untold. Even the Messiah said we would do greater things than he. When Nimrod led the world into a one-world order and they created the Tower of Babel, the Creator said, look, there is nothing that they can't do, that they can't put set their mind to. They can do whatever they dream up. And it is true. But how are we using that? How is this system using that? And are you going with it, or are you going to go against it? The system is against all things natural, organic. They go against natural, spiritual law. This is why things don't feel right. That's what they do. That's how they control. To keep you in a state of fear. We're not meant for fear. It breaks our bodies down. It breaks our mental health down. That's why truth, no matter how hard it is, frees us. So during this time, please take care of yourself. You have amazing coping skills. You have all the mental strength. You have endurance and perseverance. And it's okay if you have times where you feel like you want to break down and cry. Let yourself. Purge it. Get rid of it. Just don't stay there. There's people who need you. You need you. But the Spirit needs you. Get up, show the world what it looks like when you live for your highest vision, when you live for your highest self, and when you live with Spirit. When Spirit is literally channeled through your life, when the Holy Spirit is an active force for your life, what that looks like. In every sector. Start coping by bringing the Spirit in. By acknowledging the life around you. By asking questions. By being curious. And constantly digging. Learning. By being a unique individual. With unique thoughts. Unique strengths. If you like this, please share. If you have something that you'd like to share with us, please do that. I would like to see what you are doing and how you're seeing the world around you right now, what you see. Also, if you have any questions for me, you can email me at thespiritualbusiness@thesacredraven.coach. And you may also contact me if you're interested in a life purpose program, coaching program that I have for you. If that's something that you're interested in, if you think that you would like to set out on a new adventure, if you have balls to get out there and do something fresh, new, that's all you, independent, that allows you freedom, allows you to be sovereign. Okay? We're in interesting times. This is history in the making. Just always stand on the side of truth, no matter what, no matter how hard. Because the truth sets you free, and that's what we want, just freedom, baby. Freedom to express, freedom to be, freedom to live, freedom to think, freedom to feel, freedom to heal. Freedom. This is Jamie Jacobson here at the Sacred Ravens Soulwork Sanctuary. And I'm signing off. This is the Clarity Through Quarantine Challenge, Day 13. See you tomorrow. Until then, my prayers are with you. I love all of you.